By now, you've probably heard that Reverend Billy Graham passed away at the age of 99, and he affected a lot of people. You know, he spoke to over 210 million people, but he also affected people who continue to affect other people to this day. And one of those people is Bart Millard from MercyMe. How are you, man?
I'm good. How are you, Wally?
I'm good. So what was your connection to Reverend Graham?
It's funny because when we were just starting out as being a band, an independent band, long before we were signed, we thought it was so cool we got to run security for his Indianapolis crusade years and years ago.
You as a band ran security? You I could see running security. Jim, not so much. You know?
Yeah. Smitty was the guy playing. I was wearing the black security shirt, and I thought it was so awesome to volunteer and be a part of that crusade. And then years later, his last 3 crusades, I believe, if I'm not mistaken, were like Kansas City, Pasadena, and Central Park. We were at a point where we had the amazing opportunity to perform at those last few crusades. But the biggest thing, I just kind of wrote on Instagram when I heard the news, was the one in the Rose Bowl in Pasadena. About a week before, my son Sam, who's 16 now, was 2, and he was diagnosed with type 1 diabetes. And back then, you had to stay in the hospital for about 5 days to learn how to take care of, learn what diabetes was and everything. And so we were in the middle of staying at the hospital, and I remember calling our manager in tears saying, man, I don't think I can go to the crusade, which I was so devastated because it's all I was looking forward to, but there's no way I was leaving my son. And so, manager called them and told them they totally understood. They got it. And so that was that. And then a little bit later, I got a phone call and they said, hey, if we can find a jet to come to your house, I live about an hour outside of Dallas, to come to you, pick you up, fly you out, and Dr. Graham just wants to hug your neck and pray for you. And then they said, you'll be back around midnight. And I was like, holy cow. And so my wife's like, you have to go do this. And so it was me on a private jet. There was room for 3 others. So I called my brother, my cousin Todd, and my uncle and said, y'all want to go to California but be back by midnight? And they're like, what in the world?
Do you regret any one of those people as a choice for a private jet, or were they the right choice?
Oh, man, we were 4 rednecks. I'd never been in a private jet in my life. And so we got in and we flew out. I mean, this jet landed in this tiny little airstrip in Greenville, Texas. And we got on and flew out there, and then a car was waiting for us, drove us to the Rose Bowl, and they kind of ran us up to the field, and everybody's kind of in place. And man, it feels like Dr. Graham's security detail is about as intense as like a president. Like they were everywhere.
I guess they had upgraded since when you did security back in the day.
Well, I would more say that we set the standard, and then they followed through. And so they brought us in this little covered tent on the side of the stage, and we stood there, and we're kind of watching, and all of a sudden this big commotion on the other side of the stage takes place, and it's like this mob of people comes into the arena and goes over there, and it's totally Dr. Graham. Like it's like everybody's camera, everybody's standing, everybody's trying to look at him. It's like Elvis almost. And we're sitting, the band, we're alone in this tent going, are you kidding me? Because we're not going to meet Dr. Graham. And all of a sudden, we're watching all this commotion. We're totally glued. And I hear behind me Dr. Graham's voice. And he says, sometimes you got to cause a distraction to get a second to yourself. And we turned, and that was a complete diversion so that he slipped in the other side to spend time with just us and the band. It was literally the 5 of us and Dr. Graham alone in a little square tent. He shook all of our hands, said he was happy for us to be there, and then he's kind of reached up with his big hands and grabbed the back of my neck and pulled me in and just started praying for Sam. And I was really overwhelmed. The little things overwhelmed me, like the fact that he knew Sam's name.
Yes.
And the fact that he was aware of the situation. And I don't remember everything he said. I just know that when we were done, I kind of looked up and there were tears in his eyes. And this dude was crying over my son. And just think of the countless things he's been a part of. If I get picked to pray the blessing over dinner, I get a little put out just, every once in a while. This dude has prayed for millions of people, and somehow he's able to shed a tear for my son after the life he's lived. When I heard the news that Dr. Graham passed away, I sat there for a second and I was like, I got to say something. This defines Dr. Graham in my life. Of all the major, historic, gigantic things he's done, that moment of stopping everything to pray for my son meant the world. And so, it's like we'll be lucky to have somebody half the man that he was in the next 20 generations, it feels like.